Let me ask you something most business owners don't like to admit out loud. Are you missing phone calls? Not the obvious ones. Not the ones you see pop up and return right away. I'm talking about the quiet ones, the calls that ring twice while you're on a ladder, the calls that come in while you're wrapping up with a client, or the one that hits at 6:42 p.m. when you finally sat down to eat dinner. The calls that go to voicemail and never get returned. Or worse, the ones that never leave a voicemail at all. That's the quiet crisis. It doesn't feel like a problem. If you run a roofing company in Tyler, you might get 15 to 20 calls a day during storm season. If you own a med spa, maybe 8 to 12. A cryotherapy center might see 5 to 10. An HVAC company in July. The phone may not stop ringing. Now imagine you miss 3 of those calls. Not because you're lazy, because you're busy. Because you're doing the actual work. 20 years ago, if someone called and didn't get an answer, they'd leave a voicemail. Maybe they'd wait a day. Maybe 2. That's not how people operate anymore. Today's customer calls one company, no answer. They hang up and call the next, no emotion, no loyalty, no hard feelings, just speed. If the second company answers, they win. Even if you're better. Even if you're cheaper. Even if your reviews are stronger. Speed to lead wins. Every time. Let's take a real East Texas example. A homeowner in Bullard notices water stains on their ceiling after a hard rain. They're nervous. They Google roof repair Tyler TX. They call the first company. No answer. They call the second. No answer. They call the third, and someone picks up with a friendly voice that says, "Hey there, thanks for calling. Tell me what's going on." That third company now has about a 90% chance of booking that job. Not because they're the best, but because they were available. Availability is revenue. If your average job is $1,500 and you close 50% of incoming calls, that means every qualified call is worth about $750 to you. If you miss just 2 qualified calls per day, that's $1,500 in potential revenue per day. Multiply that by just 20 days per month, and you're looking at $30,000 in opportunity. Even if we cut that in half to stay conservative, that's still $15,000 a month from just 2 calls. Some business owners say, well, I return my missed calls, and that's good. But how fast? 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 2 hours, the next morning? Speed matters more than effort. If someone calls an HVAC company in July and they're sweating in a 92-degree house, they aren't waiting until tomorrow. If you return the call 2 hours later, you're probably number 3 or 4 on their list, and now you're competing when you could have been first. In 1995, small businesses said things like, "Why would I need a website? My customers already know me. People can just call." Websites felt optional, confusing, unnecessary. But the businesses who said yes early became easier to find, easier to trust, and easier to choose. Within 10 years, not having a website wasn't neutral. It was a liability. An AI receptionist today is exactly like a website was in 1995. Most people don't fully understand it yet. Most resist it. But the small businesses who say yes early are going to be the ones everyone else scrambles to catch up to. This isn't about becoming a tech company. It's not about robots replacing people. East Texas runs on relationships, trust, friendliness, consistency. AI isn't here to replace that. It's actually here to protect it. An AI receptionist isn't there to take your job. It's there to make sure no one slips through the cracks while you're doing your job. Imagine knowing every call is answered, every time, even when you're busy, even when you're at dinner, even when you're sleeping. Speed to lead determines who wins. The first friendly voice often gets the job, not necessarily the best company. This isn't theory. It's happening right now. In Tyler, in Bullard, in White House, in Longview, and in every local service industry across East Texas. By now, you shouldn't just see technology differently. You should see your phone differently. You're either available or you're not. And in modern business, neutral doesn't exist. You either win the call or someone else does. In the next chapter, we're going to unpack the modern customer, why they move faster, why they hang up quicker, and why understanding their behavior is the key to staying ahead. Because once you understand how they think, you'll never look at a missed call the same way again.